Why am I making this video? Well, I'm making this video because I'm fed up with Wiltshire police. I've reported a lot of incidents to them, and what they do is when you report a crime, they say, well, basically, what evidence have you got? You try and provide the evidence you've got, and they have come up with the excuse that it's not evidence. It isn't enough. I need names. They need names. Well, if you're a victim of organised stalking like I am, you don't have names because you don't know who half these people are. You know that some of the neighbours are involved, but you don't have names and you don't have conclusive proof. Any evidence that is of any value that I do collect on my phone is often scrambled, like taking car registration numbers, for example, or as indexes as they call them. Get scrambled. All sorts of things go on my phone. And then I get a police officer saying to me, well, how do you know your phone's been hacked? What more evidence do they need? They know fine well that telephones are being hacked. It's this constant deflection. So I will say something and they will, poo-poo it, basically. And it really, really annoys me. Serious crime is committed against targeted individuals and police officers are involved. And these same police officers, when you say to them your colleagues are involved, you get accused of generalising, which is most unfair. We go through so much. And the conversation today I had with Wiltshire police was just incredible. For a start, they know all about what is going on, but they just feel the need to prod and poke to see what evidence I actually do have. I was run down by a cyclist and I could have been killed and nothing was done about it. Nothing's done, but I'm not the only one that's suffering this. A lot of people are. And it's just the humiliation of what we have to endure as TIs, first and foremost, the stalking, the assaults, all sorts of things being done to us by people that we don't know. We don't know the names of most 90% of our stalkers. It's very difficult to know who they are. But Wiltshire police, who are actually organise some of these stalking activities in the community, I know an inspector who lives locally who does. But how do you prove it? How do you prove all of this? When the Masons are involved, you don't get any help. When you're up against the Masons, you are powerless. You're abused, humiliated, and you are powerless. And that is what is going on. And the other thing to note is that they slap you in the face by ensuring that certain officers contact you. And it is so obvious, and I could go into that, but I'm not going to bother. Because it's the Masons know all about it. Because I think looking at things, actually, they seem to control the whole police force so well. I wouldn't really call it a police force. I would set them up against a bunch of criminals who really prod me to see what evidence I have. In the case of myself being targeted, what evidence do you have? How do you know your phone's been hacked? I'm questioned as though I'm a criminal, not treated as though I'm a victim. And that is the worst thing. And I feel so sorry for all the people having to deal with Wiltshire police or any police force that comes up against this crap of deflection, constant deflection. Give information, and I believe there's an abbreviated term for it, DAVRO. I've seen that reference to that before, but I really can't be more specific on this. But you give information and they pretend it's irrelevant, and it's this constant questioning of I need information. What do you do when you're up against a personality that is very, very intent on gaslighting and behaves like that? And there isn't much you can do. So to Police Officer 2551 based in Devizes, who is affiliated with the Masons in some way, and I know you are, I suggest that you get training. Because quite frankly, I refuse to be upset by your line of questioning and your little help. You gave a little help, and it is most frustrating and it is annoying. People give up on the police, and they give up on the police. They give up trusting the police for a very good reason, and you are one very good reason.